I have fully automated my process of uploading builds to Steam, and I don't even have to leave the Unity editor to do it. Let's take a look at what I mean. You see this button here in my toolbar? If I click it, it opens a new editor window. This window allows me to configure my settings for a Steam upload. As you can see, I can configure my app ID, choose my Unity build folder location, and my Steam SDK destinations for the content builder. I can also choose the depot I want to upload to, and the branch I'd like to set the build live on, as well as a description for the build. It's evolved slightly over the years, but I use this tool in every single game I work on, because with this one button press, Unity builds the game and immediately uploads the build to Steam for me. Let's go ahead and click it so you can see it in action. As you can see, I also have a tool in my project to automatically increase the version number of my game when I start building. I like doing it this way because it gives me control over my content versioning exactly when I need it, and it allows me to keep tabs on it every time I make a build. This is a pretty simple script which we'll explore later in the video. Once the build is done, the tool copies the items from my Unity build folder and into the Steam content builder folder. It then opens SteamPipe in the command line, logs in, and begins uploading the content for me. As you can see, this new version is now uploaded and live on Steam. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can build a tool like this and automate your upload process from right within the Unity editor and set things up so that you can kick off a build and your game immediately uploads to Steam with little or no effort on your part. So how does this tool work? Well, it's quite simple. Essentially, it boils down to some scriptable objects and simple .NET processes to handle everything for you. Let's start with the scriptable objects. We'll create two new scripts, one called Steam Builder Config and another called Steam Builder Depot. These are essentially just where we'll keep all the information we need to produce our VDF files that Steam SDK uses for uploading. First, let's define our depot settings scriptable object. We'll add a string entry for our depot ID, the local path, depot path, recursive value, and file exclusions. With most games, it's likely you'll only ever need the depot ID for this, but we'll include these extras just in case. Let's also make sure we have a way to create this asset by adding the create asset menu attribute. Then in the config script, we'll add a string field for the app ID, the Unity build folder, the build output folder, and the content root folder. I always have a folder called builds in my project that builds go into, so we're going to set that as the default for our build folder here. Then we'll also add the default folder names in the Steam SDK for both our output and our content root paths. If you've got a pretty basic setup for your game, it's unlikely you'll ever need to change these, but we'll add support later for customizing them in the editor in case you do. Next, we'll add a string list for our branch names, and we'll add an integer value for our current index. Then we'll add a list for our depot settings. Finally, back in Unity, let's generate both of these scriptable objects in our project here. We've now got our settings asset ready to configure for our game. Next then, we need to create the editor window that will help us configure these assets and control building to Steam from. Let's use the UI Toolkit wizard to generate a new editor window for us. I've already demonstrated in a previous video how to generate a button for the toolbar, so I'm going to skip over it here. I'll link the video below if you want to learn more about that, but essentially we use the same process from that video to create a button up here with our Steam icon, and have it open our new editor window we just created. Let's open up our window in the UI builder and start building our panel. Let's set the builder up into editor dark mode so it matches what we need and make sure that editor elements are enabled too. We'll start with a container visual element and then we'll add another container element. This will be where our main config info goes. In here, we'll add a label and a button, and this will be our header for the config area. This button will eventually allow us to open the config asset. Now, usually if I were doing something a little bit more complicated, I'd set up a bunch of USS files for this, but it's a simple tool, so I'll just be doing the styling inline for now. Next, we'll add a few text fields. The first will be our app ID. Then we'll add one for our build folder, content root, and build output. We'll place these inside a visual element container with a button, which we'll use to allow the user to choose and define the location automatically rather than needing to type it in. We'll then add another header for the additional build info we want. Under here, we'll add a drop-down field for our branch name, and we'll also add a text field for the description. Finally then, we'll add an area for our 4 buttons at the bottom here, and add each of our buttons. And with that, we have our editor window ready. All we need to do now is hook it up to our data and make it functional. So let's go ahead and set some bindings up on our fields here. Essentially, we just need to map the value of all of our fields to their corresponding entry in the config scriptable object. So we'll use the binding system in the editor here to hook them up as a two-way value binding. We'll select the field, and in the value property, we'll click these dots here and choose Add Binding. We'll make sure type is selected and set our Steam Builder config class as the data type. Then we'll just grab the corresponding property from the list here, set it as two-way, and then choose Add. Then we'll go ahead and do this for the rest of our fields here. Now by default, if we open the window up, nothing will happen. We'll need to actually set our config file as the data source on our window. So in the C# script for the window, let's go ahead and create a property for the Steam Builder config class and make sure it's exposed. In the create GUI method, we'll first set the root data source to our window here. Then let's grab a reference to the container for our config fields and set our config scriptable object as the data source to the container. Now all the child fields will use this as its data source. In Unity, let's select the C# script, and in the field here, let's assign our config file. This essentially defines the defaults that the window will use when it's open. So now if we open the window, we should see the values carry over from our config file. Let's also set our config file as the data source on our branches field. This should now show any branches we've configured in our file and define the correct index when it's selected. Let's have the open button here actually open our config file in case we want to make any other changes or add new branch names. We'll simply use the editor utility.openProperty editor method to bring up the inspector for our config in a new window when the button is clicked. I'll also just add a line here to inject a custom property field for our depots array. This is more of a preference thing, but I like to be able to configure the depot list in my editor here too. We'll also create a property for our description for our build and hook that up to our editor field as well. Now all of our editors should be working and in sync, so we're ready to automate our build and upload process. And while we're on the topic of tools and automating your flow, I'd like to take a quick second to thank the sponsor of this video, FarClip. FarClip is a spatial logic tool that helps you evaluate and troubleshoot your scenes while you're building them. FarClip reads your scene and shows you where players look, where they won't look, and highlights any potential areas that may cause friction for the player. It runs locally in the Unity editor and paints answers as an overlay on your editor scene. You can use it for all types of levels and layouts, including scenes that are in production. You can ask it to analyze level flow, identify potential navigation issues, evaluate layout changes between results, and even for advice on ways to improve pacing or validate the design intent of your level. In this test scene I put together, I asked FarClip to show me any potential areas that could work as a combat encounter. It highlighted a number of different areas and flagged the types of encounter that could work there. For instance, I really liked how it thought about a ranged encounter at the top of the stairs here, or using this corner area to provide as an ambush location. It also evaluated the potential for different types of encounters in my level into different regions, showing me which areas were better for stealth or combat. Essentially, FarClip empowers you to refine your levels and layouts more easily. This is exactly the kind of thing I think AI is really good at, and so I welcome analysis and validation tools like this, especially when they help you get ahead of any potential issues with your game design before getting it into the hands of players. So, if you're building in Unity and want to give FarClip a try, the early access phase is now available and free to try out. So if you're interested, you can grab FarClip at farclip.ai/gamedevguide and see what it finds in your level. Thanks again to FarClip for sponsoring this video. Now let's jump back into building our editor tool. The first thing we'll want to do is configure the various paths we'll need, as well as a way for us to fetch the credentials for Steam. Now obviously I don't want to bake that data anywhere in the project and have my credentials exposed, so instead we'll take advantage of our environment variables on our PC and get them that way. Let's create 3 static properties at the top of our class here. One for the Steam SDK path, one for our Steam ID, and one for our Steam password. And then we'll simply fetch this info using environment.getEnvironmentVariable method. Now all we have to do is head into our environment variables on Windows and set each of these up. The SDK path should point to the root folder of your local Steam SDK directory, and naturally your Steam ID and password entry should be whatever it is you'll use to log into your Steamworks account. As you can see, I've also added another string entry here for the path to the Steam build folder. As we now know where our SDK is, let's support our 3 other options in the editor here. The first one can open a utility window wherever you like. As I mentioned before, I have a build folder in my project root, so I'm leaving it as default. And then using the path.getRelativePath method, calculating the local directory string. I'll then do the same for both of the other buttons here, but use the Steam SDK as the relative directory point. Right then, that's all of the main boilerplate out of the way. Let's get our 4 buttons working. We'll make a new method for each of our buttons, and our 4th button will just call all 3 of our other methods in sequence. In our build method, we'll start by defining our build options. Depending on our build target, we'll need to define a different build name, so we'll make a simple method to return that for us. We'll resolve the path set in our config by using the getFullPath method, and then depending on our build target, we'll change the returned file format. I'm just using a hard-coded app name here, but you can also fetch it from the player settings if you wanted. With our options set up, we'll then start the build process by passing these into the buildPipeline.buildPlayer method and logging the result. Now, if we head back into Unity and press our build button, it should start the build process for us. As I mentioned earlier, I have this little tool that helps me control version numbers when I make a build. It's a pretty straightforward preprocessor that figures out the current version from the player settings and throws up a few nested editor dialogues for the user. Depending on what they choose, it adjusts the version accordingly and sets it back onto the player settings. I've posted it for free over on Patreon, so you can click the link in the description to go and pick it up. And if you like it and find it useful, then please do consider joining and supporting the channel. With our build button now working, we can copy all of our files over to the content directory in our Steam SDK. I've built a little helper method to do this. It simply loops over every file and moves them over. I also just make sure to open the folder when it's done so that I can confirm things copied over okay. Now then, let's hook up our upload to Steam button. This one is essentially just a case of converting all of the info we got into the various VDF files that SteamPipe uses. We'll start by checking if our description box is empty, and if it is, prompt the user to cancel the process if they forgot to fill it in. Then we'll get the path to the build scripts folder that we'll generate our scripts into. And for each depot in our depots list, we'll create a new VDF file for it if one doesn't already exist. We'll then write the data from our Scriptable object into that VDF file. This one is a little tricky because if the syntax is wrong, it'll mess up the whole process, so be sure to check closely. Then we'll do the same thing for our app file. We'll write the depots we're uploading into the file. We'll also add a line for the branch we want to set our upload live on if we have one selected, and add the rest of the info from our config file into our VDF here. Finally, we'll write a little batch file for uploading the file to Steam, passing in our login parameters from our environment variables we set earlier, and telling it to build our app file. Then we run a C# process to execute it. Now, when we press the upload button here, we should be able to upload our files to Steam in one simple click. The first time you run this, you might need to authenticate with SteamGuard. And that's the gist of the tool. Whenever I want to make a build and upload it to Steam, I can kick off the process with a simple button press, and it's completely automated. Now obviously, you could take this much further and add support for different types of builds, different Steam options, or even maybe uploading to different platforms, but hopefully this gives you the gist of how to build a tool like this and the kinds of things you should be doing to save time. And that's it for this video. If it's been useful or you've built something like this for yourself, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, then consider subscribing as you'll be notified when new videos go live. Otherwise, if you'd like to see more from me first, try checking out one of the ones on screen now. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.